Imagine if your own elder sisters never let you talk to any girl in your entire life. This is exactly what happens in today's story. The story begins with a 6-year-old boy named Jackson. He loved a girl in his class. One day he took a marriage certificate to her and asked her to sign it. When she refused, Jackson tried to bribe her with 2 movie tickets to make her agree to be his wife. The girl signed the certificate but went to watch the movie with another boy instead. Jackson had 5 elder sisters who loved him too much. When his heart was broken, they promised to protect him from girls for the rest of his life. 15 years later, Jackson is now 21 years old, but he still has no freedom in his life. Among his 5 sisters, the youngest, Lily, is in the same class as him. The second sister, Violet, is a skilled archer who used her archery skills to keep Jackson under control. The third sister, Haven, is a hacker who could easily hack any computer. She hacked Jackson's school security system to keep an eye on him. The fourth sister, Melody, is a teacher at Jackson's school. The eldest sister, Sarah, is very strict and short-tempered, and everyone in the family fears her. Their parents had separated a long time ago, so the sisters took care of each other and Jackson. One day, Jackson got frustrated with his sisters always keeping an eye on him. His friend made him a special suit that allowed him to hide easily. By mistake, Jackson ended up in the girls' locker room, where a new girl named Mung caught him and took him to the principal. Jackson didn't mind getting into trouble, but he didn't want his sisters to find out. On his way home, he was scared that the school might have informed them, but when he got home and no one mentioned it, he breathed a sigh of relief. During dinner, Melody suddenly asked, "What were you doing in the girls' locker room?" His sisters dragged him away and hung him upside down. Then they started interrogating him. What were you doing in the girls' locker room? They had forbidden Jackson from even looking at a girl to ensure his heart would never get broken again. In their opinion, this was the best solution. If he never got close to a girl, his heart wouldn't break. Simple logic. But that day, Jackson protested for the first time. He said, "What's wrong if I look at girls? All my friends have girlfriends. Do you know how much it hurts me to see them?" The sisters calmly told Jackson that if he could find a girl who had all the qualities of his 5 sisters, they would allow him to have her as his girlfriend without any objection. Although it seemed almost impossible, Jackson accepted the challenge. The next day, Jackson walked around with a signboard saying, "Take a boyfriend, take a boyfriend." His friend suggested he should talk to a new girl named Mung, as she was known for helping everyone. Later, it was revealed that Mung only helped those who genuinely needed it, although sometimes her help caused more trouble than good. Jackson decided he wanted Mung as his girlfriend, but his biggest problem was that he didn't know how to talk to girls. So, his friend acted like a messenger and went to Mung, praising Jackson. He told her, "Jackson's sisters are very controlling, and he's really upset. You're the only one who can save him." Hearing this, Mung felt sorry for Jackson and decided to talk to him. Just then, a rumor spread that a wild bear was attacking children. Jackson stepped up like a hero to save everyone. However, it turned out to be a fake bear. The fake bear pushed Jackson, and he ended up in the hospital. When he opened his eyes, he saw Mung sitting beside him. Although the bear plan didn't work, Mung agreed to be Jackson's friend. At that moment, Jackson's 2 sisters showed up and started scolding him for not taking care of himself. Mung got angry and told them to stop. The sisters were shocked when Mung declared that she was Jackson's girlfriend. Hearing this, Jackson was overjoyed. Later at home, Jackson's sisters asked him, "Do you really have a girlfriend?" Jackson just smiled but didn't reply because cool people don't answer such small questions. However, when Sarah, the eldest sister, asked, Jackson had to confess about Mung. The sisters didn't believe him and hung him upside down again, convinced that it was impossible for him to have a girlfriend so quickly. Jackson tried to explain, "Come on, sisters, it's love at first sight. We looked into each other's eyes, and that's where it all started." But none of them believed his story, so they decided to test Mung to see if she was suitable for their brother. The next day, Violet, Lily, and Melody arrived at school, ready for a battle. When they saw Jackson and Mung together, Violet shot an arrow at Mung, but Jackson stopped it just in time, and Mung talked angrily at them. Violet didn't stop there. She came up with a new plan. She bribed the most handsome and charming boy in school to flirt with Mung, take her on a date, and keep her away from Jackson. He wanted Mung to be proven disloyal, but that didn't happen. In the end, Jackson saved Mung from some boys, and they both ran away. From a distance, Violet saw them and shot another arrow. Just then, a bomb exploded, creating a huge blast. Luckily, no one was hurt. Everyone was confused about how the explosion happened. It was then revealed that a boy in the chemistry lab was working on some formula. Nobody knew his intentions, but he was the one who saved Mung from Violet's attack. Later, Jackson and Mung sat on a rooftop eating ice cream. time. Jackson then discovered that Mung was pretending to be his girlfriend because she believed Jackson's sisters were planning to steal his kidneys and sell them. Despite this, Jackson didn't tell her the truth. Meanwhile, back at home, Lily and Violet admitted that they failed in their mission. This time, Haven decided to teach Mung a lesson. She collected various CCTV clips of Mung from school and edited them to make Mung look like a terrible person. But before she could upload the video online, the power went out. It turned out that the same boy from the chemistry lab was standing outside their house. He had cut the power to save Mung once again. Still, no one knew who he really was. The three sisters then went to their eldest sister Melody and asked her to handle Ming. The next day, Melody challenged Meng to some games. First, they had a staring contest and then a fishing competition. Melody won both rounds. Before the final round, their oldest sister Sarah arrived. She challenged Ming to a hammer throw competition where they had to throw a heavy iron ball as far as possible. Sarah used her incredible strength to spin the ball in the air. Then she picked up another ball, but it turned out to be a bomb that could explode at any moment. Realizing this, Mung quickly grabbed the ball from Sarah's hand. After the explosion, Sarah realized that Mung had saved her life. From then on, Sarah began to like Mung, and the other sisters also started trusting her. Seeing this, Jackson was overjoyed. Afterward, Jackson and Mung spent more time together. They visited different places and grew closer. Their fake love slowly turned into real love. They got to know each other better and fell even more in love. One evening, they went to a quiet beach and spent the entire night together. The next morning, they hugged each other for the first time, but someone had been watching them the whole time. It was none other than the boy from the chemistry lab. Seeing them together, his anger reached its peak. The next day at school, Lily opened her lunchbox only to find a bomb inside. Suddenly, a massive explosion shook the entire school. Jackson was safe, but Lily was badly hurt. After that, Jackson and his sisters hugged each other tightly. Seeing this, Mung realized how much the siblings loved one another. She decided to leave quietly, and Jackson followed her. However, Mung didn't talk to him, leaving Jackson confused. Mung started thinking that ever since she entered Jackson's life, things had become more difficult for him and his sisters. She felt she might not be good for Jackson, so she started staying away from him. Jackson tried hard to talk to her, but it didn't work. One night, it was raining heavily. Jackson saw on TV that the streets were flooded. Suddenly, he remembered Mung was still at school, waiting for the rain to stop. He immediately ran to the school and found Mung standing in the rain, soaking wet. Jackson hugged her and said, "Why can't you be like you were before? What's wrong?" But Mung pushed him away. She told him she was leaving the school and asked him to stay away from her until she was gone, saying it was for the best. Poor Jackson's heart was broken. He stood in the rain all night, crying. The next day, someone approached him. Thinking it was Meng, Jackson hugged, but it turned out to be the boy who had been making bombs. Taking the chance, the boy kidnapped Jackson. Meanwhile, there was a party at the school. Everyone was having fun, but Meng sat alone, looking sad. Jackson's sisters were also worried since Jackson had been missing since the previous day. They searched everywhere and discovered that his phone was nearby. Just then, a masked man appeared on stage and revealed that he had kidnapped Jackson and locked him inside a rocket. When everyone asked why he hated Jackson so much, he explained, "No one notices me, and I have no friends. I fell in love with Mung the moment I saw her, and I was the one who saved her from Jackson's sisters. But even after that, Mung chose Jackson. So I want revenge for losing Mung to him." In anger, he pressed the rocket's launch button. Jackson's sisters, Ming, and his friends tried hard to stop the rocket, but it only paused for a few moments. Before the rocket launched, Jackson confessed his love for Ming in front of everyone. The rocket finally took off and exploded in the sky, seemingly killing Jackson. Later, Mung visited Jackson's grave to lay flowers. Just then, Jackson jumped out from behind. He had survived the explosion but had broken his arm. It was a special surprise for Mung. After that, Jackson's sisters returned to their usual antics, teasing him like before, and the movie ends in here. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to give the video a like.